the station on your side. You're watching Wavy News 10 on Fox 43.
With the balance of power here in Virginia up for grabs, all eyes are on close races.
Tonight, vote counting continues across the Commonwealth. 10 on your side is your local election headquarters.
And we've done the work, and now it's time to do the tabulations.
It's been a lot of work, but hey, it's going to be gratifying. We're going to win this thing today.
Tonight, Democrats are pushing to hold their majority in the state Senate, but will Republicans claim the power in the upper chamber?
You know, I want a good economy and good, solid schools and a safe place to live.
We're protecting freedom from reproductive freedom, voting freedom, and the freedom to make sure to learn in a safe environment.
Then two local House candidates make one final push. This as Republicans push to keep control of the lower chamber. Tonight's tallies also a preview to next year's presidential election.
Think about Virginia as almost being like a focus group, right? We're looking to see what things work, what messages resonate, what demographics are coming out.
Abortion, education, and the economy are top issues for voters here at home and across the nation. Will they help tip the balance of power in Richmond?
And as we come on the air tonight, the counting continues at precincts across Virginia. Thank you for joining us. I'm Tom Shad.
And I'm Maria Elena Valores. With the Republican House and Democratic Senate, will the balance of power remain divided or tip the scale? All 100 seats in the Virginia House of Delegates were on the ballot today. With Republicans currently holding a slim majority in that chamber, Democrats hope to pull out a win.
Meanwhile, in the state Senate, Democrats control a majority of the 40 seats there, but can Republicans take that chamber? So tonight we await the final numbers that will determine the outcome of state elections watched by the nation.
Either party has the possibility to regain control of both chambers. If Republicans win the majority in both the Senate and the House, that'll be the first time they've controlled a General Assembly and governor's mansion since 2013.
Our team has been closely watching dozens of races for weeks now. Our Truth Tracker and Following the Fun series helped prepare you for today.
But our work doesn't stop there. We're on your side tonight with team coverage from across the region. Our Andy Fox is on the peninsula covering one of the most closely watched Senate races.
And Brett Hall has made his way to Virginia Beach as we await tallies in the 97th House District. Chris Horn, meanwhile, is in Suffolk following another Senate race. But we begin tonight with Andy Fox covering the 24th District Senate race. Andy?
Yes, this is what I can tell you is that we are now down here at the Danny Diggs party here in Newport News. You can see everyone over here. We are giving you numbers that are unofficial, but last time we looked, 630 votes separated Monty Mason from Danny Diggs. The last precincts to come in were from Poquoson. That is a Danny Diggs stronghold, but he did not carry that by the amount that he needed. He wanted 783 to 154, and right now 630 votes separate them. Now, here is the big issue with this. There are at least 700, we are told, provisional ballots that still need to be counted. There is still official counting going on. This is the Danny Diggs party. We were still waiting for him. We were supposed to have an interview him, but he is not here. So I will have another update for you coming up on Wavy News 10 at 11. Once again, in this closely watched Senate race, Monty Mason and Danny Diggs, last time we looked, about 600 votes separated them. I'll have another update coming up at 11. In Newport News, Andy Fox, 10 on your side.
Andy, thank you. We're going to turn our attention now to Virginia Beach and the 97th House District tonight.
And that's where we find our Brett Hall. Brett?
Oh, yeah, you just a little while.
Hey, good evening, Tom and Lena. Yeah, we are here at Virginia Beach's Democratic Watch Party tonight with Senator Aaron Rouse, who just has claimed a victory, which really is a big deal because it gives Democrats that 21st seat to have control of the Virginia Senate for another 4 years. And we're joined with the senator right now, Rouse, along with Councilwoman Jennifer Rouse. And so you came out. Right now, the votes are still not even all in, but you feel confident you have victory. Why is that?
We're very confident as well. We understand what the numbers are. But, again, this is a night to be celebrated. All women in our Commonwealth can breathe a little bit easier tonight, understanding that the blue brick wall is intact.
Now, you, well, we don't, of course, know, as we were just saying, what the numbers all said and done, but a lot of people counted you out in the special election earlier this year. Here you're back again, same opponent. Have you heard from Mr. Adams so far tonight?
You know, I have not, but that's been a story of my life, being the underdog. But again, once the people get behind you and been someone that's always been in the community and working hard and getting to this point in my life, I understand I couldn't have done it by myself. It takes a village. And as you can see, everyone behind me had a part in helping Aaron Rouse become state senator again.
I have to ask, do you feel it's helpful in our partisan times for you to have started in local government where there isn't a D or an R next to your name? Do you think that helped some people possibly have faith in you before you put that letter next to your name?
Well, absolutely. I think it helps not only my district, but it helps, Virginia Beach, because I understand, have the experience of learning how the local level and how state politics and legislation helps the local level. So for me, it helps me be a better senator in the state.
Now, also at this party, could be tonight, we could be hearing from Michael Fagans. However, that race right now has not been called. We will be back here on Wavy News 10 at 11 and give you the very latest. For now, live in Virginia Beach, Brett Hall, 10 on your side.
A lot of happy people there by Aaron Rouse as he claims victory tonight.
Thank you very much, Aaron.
From Virginia Beach to Suffolk now, where our Chris Horn is watching the 17th Senate District race.
Chris, what are you seeing out there tonight?
Well, it looks like about a 3,500 vote lead for Republican delegate Emily Brewer. These are the latest numbers we have over Democrat Clint Jenkins, also a sitting delegate. These are two sitting delegates that were trying to win a Senate seat in the newly drawn 17th district, which stretches from here in Suffolk all the way west to Brunswick County. Jenkins arrived here at his Suffolk headquarters about 7:45. He says he may still have a chance, though. He's pinning his hopes on early vote counts. Jenkins said he would fight for reproductive rights, while Brewer supports Governor Youngkin's 15-week ban with exceptions on abortion. Both candidates told us they were satisfied with the way their campaigns played out, even though there was plenty of negative messaging to go around.
We talk to voters at their doors, in their communities, at their events, and, I feel, really, really confident about how we've always connected prior to this race and how we've connected since.
As of right now, things went very well. There are no surprises. In the past, my elections have always come down to the wire. The early vote count has always made a difference. So that's what we're waiting on now.
We'll keep an eye on those late vote results and, of course, update you tonight at 11. We're live in Suffolk. Tom, Lena, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you for the update. We appreciate it.
Now, keep in mind, as we bring you the latest from the polls tonight, there are no automatic recounts in Virginia. But if the difference in a race is under 1% or is 1% or under, the losing candidate can petition for a recount within 10 days of those results being certified. For write-in candidates, the difference can't be more than 5%. If the race has a margin over 5%, the losing candidate pays for the recount. Otherwise, the state or locality pays.
Well, all of us here in Virginia are closely watching tonight's results. Our races are getting significant national attention as well. Many experts agree the outcome will be an indicator for how 2024 will go. Virginia has voted Democrat in the past 4 presidential elections. Then in 2021, voters elected a Republican governor. Several key issues continue to define a divided state.
Abortion, for many voters, number one issue, right? But then you also throw in education and the economy and guns, right? And so we're seeing how these issues are going to play out at the state level. Could they play out larger in 2024?
Of course, we'll continue to follow the impact of tonight's races closely. At 10:30, a local political expert joins us here on the set to dive more into the impact.
Now let's take a look at some of the other races we're following tonight, starting in the 88th House District, where the race has been called for Portsmouth's Don Scott.
In the 18th State Senate District, you can see Louise Lucas has 59% of the vote to her Republican challenger, Tony Goodwin, with about 41% of the votes in right now.
And we just talked to Brett Hall, the 22nd State Senate race. You can see Aaron Rouse and Kevin Adams. Look how close that is, separating about 200 votes. But Aaron Rouse has claimed victory in this race with 69% of the vote in. But that is a race that has not been officially called yet.
Now, Richmond's casino dreams have been crushed again by the city's voters. They once again overwhelmingly voted to reject a multi-million-dollar development.
Still to come, principal problems.
In a story you'll see only here on 10, a Norfolk mom says her children were driven away from school in their principal's car. The big question is why?
Plus at 10:30, tallying the totals with all eyes on Virginia's election. Voters in other states headed to the polls today. We'll take a deep dive into those big races.
But first, missing men. Crews have been searching for 3 boaters for weeks now. All new tonight, the message from one of their fathers.
We almost had a record high temperature today, but as we look ahead to tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures cooling down just a bit back into the lower 60s. We'll take a look at that forecast, plus also when that chance for rain is returning in just a bit.
From the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43. You're watching Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43 with Tom Shad, Marielena Valores, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson, and Sports Director Craig Loper.
We want to get to breaking news from Newport News tonight. Police need your help to find a missing and endangered woman. 34-year-old Sharita Simons was last seen around 3 o'clock this afternoon on Aqueduct Drive.
And police say Simons has a medical condition, so call 911 if you've seen her or know where she might be.
Only on 10, a Norfolk mom is outraged after she says her children's school principal took them out of school and drove them in her personal car.
And 10 on your side's Michelle Wolf has more from Ocean View Elementary.
Last Wednesday, Ashley Van Note's 8-year-old son stole another child's GPS watch from school. She tells us she stayed in contact with Ocean View Elementary and was working on returning the watch. When the next day, the school principal took 3 of her children out of school, drove them home, and demanded the watch be returned. Van Note, who is a mom of 10, was at work in North Carolina and answered several phone calls from school staff. A call from the principal left her uneasy. Van Note says Principal Kirsten New took her 5-year-old, 9-year-old, and 10-year-old daughters out of school and drove them in her personal car just over a mile to Van Note's home.
So she had put them in the car. I don't think she explained to them where they were going or why they were getting in the car with her.
The girls knew nothing about the watch and were scared.
They felt intimidated. I can't speak to how she spoke to them, but whatever she said or whatever her tone was intimidating enough that one of my kids had an accident because they were so scared. I was really upset.
Van Note says New demanded the watch be returned, to which Van Note replied it was in a safe and that she would return it when she got home from work. The watch was returned, and Van Note apologized to the child's parents for her son's behavior. Van Note's husband met with New the following day and was unsettled when New justified her actions, including driving their 5-year-old daughter without a car seat.
And if something had happened to my kids, it would just kill me.
Van Note reported her concerns to Norfolk Public Schools and filed a police report. She also took out an emergency protective order and has spoken with Child Protective Services. We reached out to Norfolk Public Schools for comment. We're waiting to hear back. In Norfolk, Michelle Wolf, 10 on your side.
We're getting late word into the Wavy newsroom from Virginia Beach Police. That's where police are investigating a shooting on Newtown Arch. It's not too far from Newtown Road. Officers were called to the scene just before 7:45 tonight. We're told the victim is expected to survive.
And then on the Eastern Shore, a woman was killed after being hit by a car there. Deputies were called to Langford Highway and Mason Road before 6:40 tonight. That's where they found a woman who had been hit by a car. We are working to learn if the driver stayed on the scene or faces charges tonight.
10 on your side has learned that the shooting deaths of 2 senior citizens in Newport News is a murder-suicide investigation. We first told you about this as breaking news last night. Police found a 76-year-old woman and a 75-year-old man dead on Canterbury Run just before 6 Monday night. Each was shot once. Police say there's no threat to the community. Detectives are not looking for suspects.
And a woman is behind bars tonight, days after police say she hit a 14-year-old with his car. 31-year-old Shanice Atkinson faces felony hit-and-run charges. She was arrested yesterday. The crash happened Saturday as the teen was pushing his dirt bike down Ben's Church Boulevard. We're told he's in serious condition tonight.
New tonight, the father of one of 3 missing boaters is talking to 10 on your side.
The three vanished after setting off from the Georgia coast 3 weeks ago. Dalton Conway, Caleb Wilkinson, and Tyler Barlow went on a fishing trip and have not been seen since. Crews have searched the entire East Coast for them, from Maine to Florida.
That search is over, but family members are raising money to keep on looking, and they need your help.
People out walking on the beach to, please pay attention, look around for anything that's, out of the ordinary. If you do see something, please pull out your phone, take a photo of it before you touch it. That gives us, documentation of the item, but it also gives us GPS data from the cell phone photo.
More on how to get involved in that search and who to contact if you see something on Wavy.com.
Well, we certainly hope that has a good ending to that story. And speaking of things that were pretty good around the area, today's weather was not bad at all.
Very happy ending, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost set a record today, too. 78 degrees was our high. 79 was the previous record high. The record high was just set last year on this day, so it wasn't a very difficult record to achieve. Normally this time of year, our records are in the 80s, so it was an easy record to break today. We didn't do it today. Still warm, though. Average high temperature is 65 degrees, and that's where we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to be in the 60s or maybe even in the 50s in a couple of spots. So much cooler tomorrow. Colder air moves in later on tonight. The wind will be out of the north later tonight. We're not quite there yet, but that's going to happen here in about 2 to 3 hours from now for some locations. Mainly clear skies. To our north, there's a couple of clouds, but still not seeing any big storm systems, though, on the map. Just that weather pattern changing with that wind more out of the north. We're starting to see that push in across northern Virginia. We've had southwesterly winds throughout the day today, but tomorrow we'll have winds out of the north, and then we'll see those cooler temperatures come in from that. Temperatures have cooled down a bit. It's not very noticeable here on this map, but you can clearly see, though, where the areas of blue are. That's where that colder air mass is sitting, and that's starting to kind of sneak its way down into our area for tomorrow. There's more warm air, though, towards Memphis, into Oklahoma and Texas. That warmth will arrive then for Thursday, and then another push of colder air comes in on Friday. So we're just going up and down now for the next 4 days. Tomorrow's a down day. We'll see temperatures in the 50s in the morning. During the afternoon, you can see what I mean. Temperatures aren't as warm. We're not going to see 78 degrees tomorrow. Closer to average, around 60 in Norfolk, 64 degrees in Chesapeake, 59 Wallops Island tomorrow afternoon. Then on Thursday, we really heat it back up. High temperatures will be in the upper 70s across our area. So the weather today is Thursday, and then the weather that we had on Monday, yesterday, is the weather we'll see tomorrow. So we're just back and forth every day with this temperature. But at least it's not coming with any showers or storms, though. We do need some rain, and we have some rainfall on the way. When is that coming? Not tomorrow. Tomorrow we're looking good. Thursday we're also looking dry. But I do believe probably by Friday there's a chance for a little rain. Here's tomorrow. Temperatures are in the 60s across our area. Winds are out of the northeast at 5 to 10. So we have that northerly breeze tomorrow, cooling down our temperatures. Friday, there's not a lot. This is really, really limited on the coverage of rainfall. But we do have a chance to see some of those showers on Friday. I don't see rain for Saturday now, but I do see a possibility of rain moving in on Sunday. This model doesn't have as much. It keeps it in the North Carolina, but I have seen some other solutions that bring rain all the way across the Hampton Road cities and Tidewater on Sunday. So right now we're keeping it at a low chance because confidence is low, but those changes could happen in the days ahead. So stay tuned for Sunday. However, there could be a little rain also on Friday.
Jeff, thank you. Coming up, Taking Back the Community.
An inside look at how one local nonprofit is supporting local kids. Why one famous meteorologist says it's an important cause.
Plus, our election coverage continues at 10:30. With abortion a key issue for voters here in Virginia, it's on the ballot in another state. Will voters approve the measure?
From the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43.
One local organization continues its work to take back the community. Teens with a Purpose gives local kids an outlet to express themselves through art.
And the nonprofit is celebrating its 15th annual gala next week. And 10 on Your Side is a proud sponsor of this event. This year's theme is Hope Chasers.
The idea is to encourage kids to choose to be hopeful about the future, their dreams, and impact on the community. Today's show co-host and longtime weather anchor Al Roker serves on the board.
In the Hampton Roads area, it is, I think, it's just a real searchlight for proving that if you give teens the wherewithal and the tools to help themselves, they will thrive.
Founder Deirdre Love is the winner of the Remarkable Women Award here in Hampton Roads. You can read more about next Wednesday's gala over on Wavy.com.
And still to come, special save.
All new tonight, our Lauren Moss takes you inside a special rescue in Virginia Beach. How crews are working to save a local feline. A story you don't want to miss.
But first, our election team coverage continues as the votes tallying persists across Virginia. What the results could mean moving forward. A local professor joins us live with analysis here in the studio.
And a live look over Norfolk International Airport tonight. Thanks for staying up late with us on this election night. Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43 continues after the break.
You're watching Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43 with Tom Shad, Maria Elena Valores, Chief Meteorologist Jeff Edmondson, and Sports Director Craig Loper.
Thousands of Virginians headed to the polls today, with thousands more voting ahead of time.
That's right. The polls have been closed now for 3.5 hours, and counting has continued since. Every seat in the General Assembly was on the ballot today, and that includes 40 seats in the state Senate, currently controlled by the Democrats.
Across the state capitol are the 100 lawmakers in the House of Delegates. Republicans currently have the majority in that chamber. What does this all mean for the Commonwealth now going forward? Dr. Rebecca Bromley-Trujillo joins us here in the studio to explain.
Happy to do that and happy to be here. So obviously this election is a big deal for Virginians, but also nationally. And so I'll start with what this means for Virginia. Certainly Governor Youngkin was hoping to get a trifecta here with control or flipping control of the state Senate. That is not going to happen for the governor tonight. It looks like the Democrats are going to maintain that control. So what does that mean so far? We know that the Democratic Party is going to be able to kind of push back on Governor Youngkin's agenda. We aren't going to see kind of a strong rightward shift, but it's still a little unclear what some of the other races are going to tell us, because we don't know about some really competitive races here in Hampton Roads. Certainly Virginia Beach, we're unclear on a race there. We're unclear about, Danny Diggs versus Mason, and so there's a little left to be said about what this really means.
And this also raises questions about Governor Youngkin's possible national agenda that people have been talking about for a long time, the possible run for the Republican nomination for president without the trifecta. Does that dim that hope too?
Yes, I would say it absolutely does. The governor was probably really hoping for a strong victory for his party, and if he had received that strong victory, it's possible he would have entered the GOP primaries, but that would have been a long shot even if he had been quite successful here. So it still means something, though, to Youngkin moving forward and his political ambitions. I would say that, the issue of abortion is clearly on the minds of a lot of voters, and he made an effort to characterize that in a different way. And in some races that may have been successful, but it's clearly not so successful that it's kept the Republican Party in control in the state Senate, or they're not going to flip the state Senate.
We talked a little bit about this on our digital show earlier. What is your big takeaway as you've seen some of these results come in, knowing that we still have a few more to go?
Yeah, so this is clearly still very much a purple state. There's a lot of competition, and I think we're going to continue to see that in state elections, certainly. And I think big takeaways for the Democratic Party is that abortion is a motivating issue for their voters. For the Republican Party, that's an issue they're still going to have to kind of figure out moving into the national elections in 2024.
Now, how do you explain that issue to your voters, too, on that side? Because it didn't apparently work this time around.
Yeah, that's definitely the case, it seems.
Dr. Rebecca Bromley-Trujillo with CNU, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
And our team is also covering several key races across the nation, including in Ohio, where voters approved to enshrine abortion access in that state constitution. It is the fourth state to do so. Ohio also legalized recreational marijuana.
All eyes are on the governor's mansion in Kentucky. That's where Democrat Andy Beshear won re-election. He was running against the Republican State Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
To Mississippi now, where the Republican incumbent Tate Reeves is vying for re-election. Democrat Brandon Presley is challenging him to lead the state. If he wins, it'll be the first time since 2004 a Democrat led Mississippi. And as you can see, Governor Reeves is way out in front of his Democratic opponent.
Election results will continue to come into the Wavy newsroom all night. Katie and Aisha lead team coverage beginning tomorrow morning at 4:30. You can, of course, get full results anytime over on Wavy.com.
Well, the state PEBT call center and online services will no longer be available on November 30th.
It comes after the end of pandemic EBT benefits back in September. Customers who set up an account through the portal beforehand will be able to track their benefit status. Virginia Department of Social Services hopes to resolve all questions received by the deadline.
Well, a full-out rescue operation in Town Center to save a tiny orange kitten stuck in a storm drain.
Our Lauren Moss caught up with the animal rescue group trying to free the cat. That story, all new tonight.
The sounds of meows echo through Town Center as crews use the noise and tasty treats to try to get this little guy out of the drain.
Come usually is not good, so our main thing is to get him before it rains, because it is a storm drain.
He was spotted about a week ago near Nando's. Emily Jackson, president and CFO of Billy the Kitten Rescue, says she thinks he likely used a nearby storm drain as a cover after some recent storms. After learning about the trapped cat, the rescue has spent days trying to lure the kitten out.
And I've taken 4 ladders and connected them to try to get the kitten because he can't get up the incline.
But no luck. The rescue reached out for help.
The plumbers don't want to come on the property because it's city property. We were told to call animal control. They're not going to come there unless the animal is already contained.
I reached out to the city of Virginia Beach. The city says the Animal Services Bureau and the Public Works have been trying to rescue the cat, but the kitten has evaded capture. The city feels the trapping method from the animal rescue is the safest and least stressful way. A spokesperson says it's likely a feral cat that found a place it considers safe. But Jackson says she doesn't think this is the home the kitten was looking for.
Kitten has no exit hole because the drains go down 4 feet. He's stuck. There's not a feral colony in that.
Knowing the kitten's trapped is what's keeping this crew going.
We see him every day, and it's heart-wrenching. That's why we're not giving up.
With time ticking, Jackson is asking for help. She's trying to find any resources that can get the Town Center baby out. I'll have that information and the full statement from the city on Wavy.com. In Virginia Beach, I'm Lauren Moss, 10 on your side.
Coming up, Spartan Speaker. All new tonight, we're learning who graduating Norfolk State students will hear from. Stay with us.
From the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 at 10 on Fox 43.
Cheryl Lee Ralph will be Norfolk State University's commencement speaker next month.
Ralph is an Emmy Award-winning actor, producer, best-selling author, and philanthropist. She has performed in films, television, and Broadway shows. Ralph founded a nonprofit foundation in memory of friends lost to HIV and AIDS.
NSU's 111th commencement is Saturday, December 9th at Joseph G. Eccles Memorial Hall on campus.
All right, coming up in just a few minutes on the Sports Wrap, JMU Dukes fans around Hampton Roads, there are a lot of them, right? And they are riding high right now on multiple sporting fronts. The latest upset win from last night that shocked the college basketball world. And ODU field hockey preparing for the NCAA tournament after winning the Big East. We'll also talk some NFL tonight as well. Sports Wrap is coming up at 10:45. I'll see you then.
That forecast for the next couple of days is temperatures in the 60s tomorrow, near 80 on Thursday, and then Friday with some rain possible and a high temperature of 61. For the weekend, highs will be in the 50s, while partly cloudy skies on Saturday, Sunday. Maybe some rain building in towards the end of the day with a high of 57.
Still watching some close races. We'll go to our sister station.
Over Wavy TV 10 starting at 11. Yep, all the results also on Wavy.com. But if you're in the mood for sports, Sports Wrap's next.